everyone, my name is Gracie Merman and I'm the current Miss Idaho. My social impact initiative is Wholesome Health. With Wholesome Health, I aim to redefine health to encompass mind, body, and soul. I want to promote this well-rounded version of health because the more I've learned about myself and the world, I've realized how interwoven all these different parts of our being are and how important it is to take care of each component of that. Throughout my year as Miss Idaho, I've been really inspired to hear stories from girls who are 13 years old and kind of figuring out how to love their body, and men who are retired saying, you know, I struggled with body image issues and never felt that I could come forward and never felt that as a man it was okay for me to be uncomfortable in my skin. Starting this conversation has been really, really rewarding for me to realize how many people are battling their own insecurities with health and how we can come together to encourage each other to take care of our mental health, our emotional health, our physical health. And I like to share strategies on how to do that. I really think that I've been inspired by my parents. My mom is the healthiest person I know. She's always trying something new and trying to take care of herself to the best of her abilities. Right now, she focuses on only whole food and is just a plethora of information on how to take care of your body. My dad is a little bit on the other end of the spectrum where he wants to live life to the fullest and live with flavor and experience. So between the two of them, they've taught me to find a middle ground where I'm enjoying life, I'm living life, but also taking care of me as I do so. When Mrs. Miller reached out to me about filming a video and talking about how to establish a social impact initiative, I thought it was so cool, but my social impact is so specific to me and it's just one direction you could go with that. I reached out to some young ladies that have really amazing social impacts, and they're gonna be in the video clips to follow, talking a little bit about how they chose theirs, why it's important to them, or what theirs is, to help spark some inspiration in you.
My name is Dionna Talbot. I'm Miss Utah, and my social impact initiative is entitled Serve Esteem, which stands for Increasing Self-Esteem Through Service. I created my initiative in honor of my great uncle Lynn, who was severely mentally and physically disabled. Me and my family were his legal guardians, and so from the age of 1 year old, we were in charge of taking care of him, of loving him, and of serving him, of making sure that him and the men at the facility that he resided at were well taken care of. Visiting him each week was always the highlight of my week, being able to be with him because he was my best friend. I knew when I was with him, he wouldn't judge me. I knew when I was with him that I was always loved, that I was always cared for, and he was always someone who would listen and who wanted to be around me. He passed away when I was about 14 years old, and that was something that was really hard for me to deal with. It's always hard to deal with when someone you love passes away, and making sure that I could find that happiness again was what was most important to me, and it took me a while. But eventually I came to the realization that the reason I enjoyed my time with my Uncle Lynn so much was not only because I loved him and because he was my best friend, but because I was serving him. Because I was going out of my way to do something for someone else and to make the world a slightly better place. And that's how I created my initiative, because I want others to understand that no matter what's going on in our lives, that we have an outlet to be able to find a way to make ourselves feel better even on our worst days, to be able to help others to understand their worth, their importance, and their potential, to be able to help us find our worth, our importance, and our potential. I love my social impact initiative and all of the opportunities that it has given me to serve my community, to serve the state of Utah, to serve all across America and all over the world.
Hello everyone, I'm Kayla Yosik, Miss Idaho's Outstanding Teen 2019. My social impact statement is called Bridging the Gap for Refugees Here in Our Community. I started my social impact statement around 4 years ago, where I combined the two things that I loved most. I love creating new relationships with the refugee families that I meet, and I love giving them the opportunity to succeed here in Boise, Idaho. What I do is I create campaigns to gather the materials that the refugee families need most to make the resettlement process a little bit easier. My most recent campaign that I ran was called The Clear and Bright Future. I gathered old reading glasses and old prescription glasses and donated them to the refugees at the Agency for New Americans located downtown Boise. I also have built a free little library where the refugee families can go and give a book or take a book to help them while they are learning their English. Advice I'd give to you while you are choosing your social impact statement would be to find something that you love to do and something that you are passionate about, and put the two together and see what you find.
Hi everyone, my name is Caitlin Supai and I am Miss Maryland 2019. Throughout my year of service, I have had the fantastic opportunity to travel throughout the entire state of Maryland and promote my personal social impact initiative, which is called Common Sense, and it's about promoting youth financial literacy. It really has the mission and a vision of helping children and allowing them to have access, regardless of their socioeconomic background, to an education and to the tools necessary to gain a sense of economic empowerment and have access to financial literacy education. Right now, only about 19 states require any sort of financial literacy education, and there continues to be disparities amongst counties and their socioeconomic standing, and we see the way that the education is implemented within the school system. So it's my vision that every child will be given the same access to opportunity. When I was in the 3rd grade, a volunteer came into my classroom and showed us the importance of financial literacy, learning to earn, saving, spending, why do we give charitably, and how we can earn through things that we're passionate about. And for me, that means being an artist. I'm a very creative person, and my entire life I knew that that was what I wanted to do, and I didn't have to believe this idea of being a starving artist, because I was shown that when anyone can understand these principles, that whatever career path you do have, that for me, being an artist was an economically viable option. I have had many opportunities throughout my year as Miss Maryland to further my initiative. I am a creative person, so I actually wrote, illustrated, and I had the opportunity to write, illustrate, and publish my very own children's book called Pete and Penny Penguin Learn Common Sense, and that's one of the ways that I've been able to implement the lessons of financial literacy into my classroom visits throughout the state of Maryland. Additionally, I have national partners with national organizations like Junior Achievement, Operation Hope, and Jumpstart Coalition, so being able to help out at the local level as well as the statewide level and national level. Additionally, as well as that, I think my biggest piece of advice is recognizing that, if you don't ask, you'll never know who's willing to listen to you. And I have been so blessed with the opportunity to speak not only with my local legislators, not only at the State House, but also traveled to Capitol Hill 5 times to advocate for financial literacy, whether that be with House of Representatives, members of the House, or whether that be members of the Senate as well, and for Financial Literacy Day on Capitol Hill. These have been incredible opportunities that I've had the opportunity to voice and express my concern and the realizations and research that I've discovered through my social impact initiative and how pressing it is, because financial wellness really does impact every single arm of our wellness, whether that's our physical wellness or mental wellness, our social wellness, and even our environmental wellness. So we continue to see those things and how they continue to fold, but I really appreciate you listening to this little TED Talk of mine, and I can't wait to see the way that your passions and your desires are going to influence your social impact initiative, and that this might be something that you will have the opportunity to not only promote for your year of service, but for the rest of your life as well, and know that you're making a difference in the lives of other people. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Miley Johnston, and I'm Miss Alaska 2019. My social impact initiative is called A Case for Hope, and I spent this year advocating for foster children and collecting resources for them, such as suitcases, backpacks, duffel bags, and toiletries. Because a lot of people don't know this, but when foster kids are moved from one home to another or taken into custody, they oftentimes don't have anything to put their belongings into, so they are oftentimes given trash bags. I wanted to fix this by collecting and donating gently used suitcases, backpacks, and duffel bags, and so I started with the social media suitcase drive and sort of grew the program from there. So now I've worked with schools and different businesses to collect and donate these items, and I've expanded my social impact initiative by collecting toiletries and things of that nature. So
my hope is that after listening to these women talk about their social impact initiatives, why they chose them and why they think they're significant, you're feeling inspired to select a social impact for yourself. My biggest piece of advice is to reflect on what is important to you. Think about your upbringing, your experiences, and the things that make you you and that make you passionate about living life, and select something from that core. If you're not really wholly invested in your social impact, it's hard to go forward with momentum, and that true passion is what makes your story authentic and makes it easy to stay invested in it. So I hope that this video was really helpful, and best of luck in selecting your social impact, and know that every piece of good that you do in the world is important.